Welcome back to Startup Grind. It's our October edition. And last event we had Jennifer Shigoli. We had a great time. We started at around 7, 6, and we talked about so many things in the entrepreneurship world, manufacturing, and how we can mix it up in our society and make it better. Today we have somebody else by the name of Mr. Jumanne Mtambalike. He is an entrepreneur, he's a computer engineer, he's also CEO and an MD for Sahara Ventures. You might have heard the event, Sahara Sparks, but you might not know what happens as well in Sahara Ventures. So, Mr. Jumanne, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Karibu sana, Startup Grind. You have been here before as probably a spectator, but today you're here as our guest. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you.
Tell us, who is Jumanne? Where did you start? Where you're from?
Okay, so my name is Jumanne. I don't know where to start, but I've tried so many things. I've worked in so many areas. Um, we are what they call the original Buningers. People founded Buni from the beginning. When the space was completely new back in 2011, we joined the team for the first time to found this space. By that time, it was owned by the Finnish people, the Tanzania City project. I'm passionate about innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. I was born and raised in Dar es Salaam, Kariakoo in Ilala, so I'm a Dar es Salaam guy. I love the town, I love the city. I've studied in Dar es Salaam, went to Forozani and then Azania and then Loyola, so I've never gone outside this city in terms of the places I live. Some point of time I was in India, in Bangalore. I did software engineering there. I was blessed enough to do a lot of innovation and acceleration programs and incubation program with World Bank through the InfoDev programs. I also spent a lot of time to learn myself online, so massive open online courses. So I've done a lot of courses around innovation with Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich, IE Business School of Madrid, University of Virginia. I did design thinking for business innovation. So I'm a passionate guy. I love to learn new things. I love to explore new opportunities. And some point of time, even some people they don't know that I can code. So at least that's me. But I love technology. I've done a lot of projects. Some are open source, some are commercial projects, and I've been in different fields of entrepreneurship, not necessarily specific on corporate entrepreneurship. So my first business was purely, I was in Dodoma at some point of time. For those who know Dodoma, there's a place called Makole. I used to run a stationery there. I used to do businesses around shifting viazi from one place to another. We did a lot of stuff there, a lot of corporate stuff. I've sold T-shirt at some point of time. If you remember the brand Mabeli 255, those are my T-shirts. We are pushing a lot of T-shirt actually. At some point of time, we had 60,000 T-shirts from Bangladesh, and we are selling them as drugs in there. Like every clothes store knows our T-shirts. So we did push T-shirts. At some point of time, I co-founded TechBox with Mariam. It didn't work well. It was one of those startups that helped us to learn, but it failed. At some point of time, we founded Great Food with Unu to try to supply food to some of the guys at the offices. At some point of time, I was doing Tech 360 magazine. You might know that the timing wasn't that so good. It was one of the best technology magazines, digital technology magazines in Tanzania. We used to cover Kinu, the stories of January Makamba and the like by the time when the industry was just growing because nothing was happening by that time. So I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've tried a lot of startups. Those are just some of the startups I tried. I think my first major blow was in 2012 when I lost like 36 million in my first business.
You lost what?
Like 36 million in my first business.
When was that?
I think that was the second quarter of 2011 when I decided to quit Dodoma and come to the like for good, like leave that business for good. So I've been doing a lot of stuff. So in entrepreneurship is not like something which eventually I just started to do it. It's something which I've been doing for some time. So that's me. I love technology. I love innovation. I'm driven by passion to work in this industry.
I wanted to know who he is, but he went very, very deep. I'm happy with that. But let me take you back a bit. 2011, you lost 36 million. That's a lot of money.
Mm.
Were you in college? Were you done with college? or were you still doing so many businesses at the same time, or was it one job at a time? When it fails, I start doing something else?
I think it's something that my parents do not want to hear. I was given money to start MCSA on my final year at the university.
Okay.
And I tried to use common sense. Everyone was doing Cisco at that time. CCNA security, CCDP, CCNP were the big thing, CCIE. And I was like, okay, as much as I want to do these courses, guys, those are just courses, IT courses. But I was like, why should I do these things? I'm not even sure if I go back home because I was living in India that time. And like, if I go back home, this thing will matter anything. So what I decided to do was like, okay, um, screw these courses. Let me save this money, put together some of the other money I have, collect it, and then I go back home and try to do something. Something which I usually don't say. I used to organize a lot of parties in Bangalore. So, so
what kind of parties? Were they corporate parties or?
I've seen a colleague from Bangalore.
Were they corporate parties or entertainment parties?
So they were more of entertainment party. I was president of Tanzanian students in India for 2 years. So I was like this, you know, the top of the cartel guy. You cannot do your party until you consult me.
Okay.
So like I'll make sure like people attend your party and give the blessings and things like that. I know this guy. Yes, let him do his part here. So
if you say no, they don't do it. If you say yes, they do.
You can do it, but nobody will show up. So.
Okay.
So that's where how I raised my money. So I had some amount, and then I came back down here. I got a good job at Tanzania Port Authority. I was looking to become a data analyst. I hated the job because I was doing the same stuff every day. Like right now, I'm going to bed, and not tomorrow I'll be working on an Excel sheet trying to analyze the data so that I can send to my terminal manager so that he can do further analysis. So it was a routine for like 6 months. So I did that work for like 6 months, and then I dropped it. I didn't like it that much. And then that is when I decided, I was like, hey, you know what, this is not my thing. I'm dropping the job. I'm going to try out somewhere. So that was the time I went to Dodoma. So immediately after I finished my degree, I came back here, I got a good job. But it wasn't for me. I like to be challenged. I like to do new things every day. Because I was imagining myself. So for the next 7, 8 years, I'll be just entering data in the Excel sheet. This is not me. So, so from there, I know it was a very big struggle with my parents, especially, because they're like, we sent you, we spent a lot of money for you to become an engineer, and you get a good job, and you say it doesn't waste your time. So, what are you planning to do? I'm going to Dodoma.
Dodoma in 2011? You can imagine, like, what are you going to do in Dodoma? It's not this Dodoma we're talking right now. So by that time, the only thing attractive about Dodoma was University of Dar-es Salaam. University of Dodoma, sorry. So, and then we went there, we tried. I learned a lot there. And I came back here. I remember I came back totally broke. I didn't even have enough money to put on my phone to make a call. The bus ticket to come back to Dar-es Salaam was given by my girlfriend, my current wife.
Behind every man that's a successful woman.
And after like 7 years moving out from home, you can imagine that was the first time I was like, I don't have an option. I'm going back home to my father and my mother. You can see how embarrassing the situation was. Like, I'm totally broke. I cannot even rent a house. Daddy, can I come and sleep in your house? And one of my friends used to give me, that was like a statement we used to use actually. Kiswahili chake tulikuwa tunasema kwamba bwana tumeshabutua. Tumeshabutua, does that mean kwamba tumebutua, hatuna mpango tena wa kurudi nyuma. Unajua kibutua unaenda mbele tu Sasa I had to swallow my pride to go back home. Kwa washikaji wote wakaniambia mshikaji anarudisha mpira kwa kipa. You see, and so it was embarrassment, and it was a very difficult time for me, very challenging time. One of an image that I'll never forget in my life, I usually tell people this when they talk about failures. I was at Jamatini. For those who know Dodoma, Jamatini is like the main stand. I've just received my new photocopier machine from Netherlands. I've struggled in Dar es Salaam for 3 weeks to transfer it to Dodoma. Bado na deni la ile photocopia, ndo imefika to stendi. It's a big machine. I'm broke, I cannot even get a kirikou or something to carry that machine to my office. And then the only option we had is to put the machine kwenye mkokoteni so that it can be pulled to my office at Makole. Mzee nilikuwa nimepiga pamba kali. I was wearing very well and like, you know, and the guy was like, if you let the mkokoteni guy live here with your machine, you're not sure he might disappear with your machine. So you have to follow the guy. So the guy was like pulling the mkokoteni, and then whenever it stuck, I also pushed a bit, you know, giving some sort of a support. So chasing a mkokoteni, and two of my very old friends,
they saw you doing it.
With some cute ladies in Dodoma. Can you imagine the situation? Saw me chasing a wheelbarrow with my, you know, hey, what's up guys?
And you look good.
And the image is ahead of me. I'm in India that time doing my degree. Like, we just saw his pictures on Facebook. He's doing his software engineering. And now he's not even in Dar es Salaam. He's in Dodoma. Can you imagine? Chasing his machine. So those were the things, those were the experience I had as an entrepreneur. But 3 things I learned in Dodoma which are very powerful. It's about failure. So it's pretty much okay to fail. Just make sure you fail fast. So fail very fast. If something which you realize this thing is not working, you don't have to stay there for 2, 3, 4 years to understand that thing is not working. So if it's not working, you drop it. Fail cheap. Don't put 50 million or 100 million to understand this thing is not working. Try to jaribu kidogo kidogo, and then you can try to see if this thing is working or not. And fail reasonably. Every failure is an opportunity for you to learn.
Guys, remind me that later. Fail fast, cheap, and reasonably.
Yeah, so it's a very powerful theory. I've been using it. That's why in a very short period of time I tried so many companies, because if it's not working and then I drop it.
I want to know something.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a little bit. Tell me, when was the time that you got the green light at Buni? What happened? You did your job at the Port Authority, you Dodoma, you gave millions, you came back. Tell me about this place, because I believe that was a watershed situation in your life.
Wow. Buni's was like, you know, finding this new amazing woman in my life. She had like everything I need. She smiled at me. She's challenging me, you know. So Buni was like that. I was looking for a magical place to work where I can do anything I want. I can try anything I want. I don't have to report to anyone. And I need to have like craziest working colleague ever. So this place gave me that. It gave me Brian, a craziest working colleague ever. It gave me ability to implement anything without bosses, because my Finnish bosses, they didn't give a shit about what I do as long as I don't mess up. It gave me an opportunity to try things, to work with different organizations. I worked with World Bank when I was at Buni. I worked with HIVOS when I was at Buni. I worked with UN agencies when I was at Buni. I've worked with so many organizations when I was at Buni. So I knew it from day one, this is a place I want to work. It was challenging me, it was pushing me, and it was a place at least I felt I was an engine and not a screw in a big machine. You see, when I was working at the port, I felt it. I'm like, hey, you are nobody. You can decide to quit and you cannot give a shit. But when I was at Buni, if J4 quit, then things are gonna go south. Everybody was like giving me attention. They give me more responsibility. They give me more challenges. So, and I wanted that. So the moment I remember my Finnish friend, Jukka Siltanen, the guy who was managing the space, the moment he sent out the ad, they're looking for a manager for this space. That was around, I think, 2012, around January 2012. 100 people applied for that job. And 10 of us managed to get into like the final stage of the interview. Since it was a bilateral project between the Finnish government and the Tanzanian government, so we were interviewed by the Tanzanian government first, and we were interviewed by the Finnish government. I mean, representative of the Finnish later on. So the most interesting part of the story is that we remained like 10 of us, and then we were interviewed with the Finnish people. And I still remember when I went inside the room, and the guys were like, when we are reading your CVs and what you have done. You're a good techie guy. You've done a lot of like software engineering and other stuff. We don't see anything about entrepreneurship here. And I was like, I've just lost at a 6 million. That is enough knowledge I have. Yeah, that is enough knowledge I have about entrepreneurship. I can share with these guys my failures. And I remember my boss, Christina, the Finnish lady, she was just so happy to hear the passion and the energy behind what I was saying. And then later on they told me, you know this is an innovation space, but in your CV, it doesn't say anything about you doing innovation. I told her innovation is a process. You gradually learn, you try things, you fail, you get knocked down. You do it well, you wake up and it works and everyone, yes, this is an innovation. So I will learn in the process. These are new spaces. Spaces were just starting by that time. There was iHub in Kenya, the Hive in Uganda, and K-Lab in Kigali. So Innovation Hub here was a completely new concept. The only space which was working by that time, it was a private space, Kinuko Creation Hub, founded with the Barreto and the rest of the team. So Buni was a game changer in my life. Of course, by that time it was an innovation space because we came up with the name Buni with the community in 2013 when we did the voting and everything. So this space, and not only for me, the total net worth of this community from 2013 up to right now, I can tell you by fact, is more than 10 million USD. Wow. If I tell you the startups, I tell you the people who have passed here, and how much impact they've created in this community. I can start with the generation of Edwin Bruno, way back to the guys like Pixel Bears. Of course, now you have Time Tickets, guys like Soccer, Agri Info, all these other guys. And those are just guys who own startups. But you have individuals who are making serious, critical decisions about this country. You are originally part of this amazing community. So that is Buni. It tells much about this space.
So now I'd like to know, you were asked if you knew anything about innovation, you said it's a process, and now you got affiliated. After that, did you attend, did you attend any accelerators or any other hubs, or did you find an incubator to be an incubatee just to learn more? Or did you just move with the process?
No, so my best option of learning was massive open online courses. I think in my first year at Buni, I had 6 certificates from Coursera. I had 2 certificates from EDX, and I did a couple of other trainings on Skillshare because I knew what were my weaknesses. I had no clue about innovation, and I was hired as an innovation trainee manager. So I needed to invest my time understanding the innovation. So I did multiple courses. I did critical perspective in management. I did critical perspective in management, competitive strategy. And then I did design thinking for business innovation. I did front-end innovation. I did frugal innovation. At some point of time, I had a lot of knowledge around innovation, but no experience. And that's when it becomes interesting because I started to pilot programs that will allow me to test the skills that I have attained.
You mentioned a couple of things. You have done all kinds of businesses. Now, there was one thing that got in my head. With the many businesses that you've done, you've had different partners. You've mentioned like 5, 6 food. You mentioned about Mabeli, 5, Techbox, and whatever. You had different partners in every business that you were doing. Why were you changing partners? And tell me what was the criteria that you were using in getting a new partner in every business? Because I hear most of the stories from the people I talk to. I had this partner, the business failed, I had another partner, things were blah, blah, blah. We had different philosophies. They didn't know this, we knew that. What happened? And what lesson did you learn from every partner?
It's very interesting. So, a good startup is a function of 5 variables. Over a period of time, I've learned that it's a function of 5 variables. It's a function of a great idea. That's the first variable, great idea. And then great team. And then great product, great execution, and timing. You can get it well in all the other component, but the most important component for me is team. Others can decide to choose whatever they want. They can choose idea, they can choose execution, they can choose timing, they can choose product. You can have all those. I can go back through all my startups that I've started. The biggest challenge was always the team. At some point of time, I had brilliant ideas with perfect product. The timing was great. Even the execution was proper. Everyone loves the product, but my team members didn't share the same vision I have toward the idea. They didn't have the same passion that I had toward the idea in terms of me being able to attain it and them also being able to be part of that process of achieving that idea. So partner is a big challenge, especially in African startups, because most of our partners, they want to be startups. They don't want to be businesses. They want firms, they want titles, they want interviews with Startup Green. They don't want to build business, because to build business is about blood and breaking the bones and sweat and looking dirty. And nobody want to do that difficult stuff. They want this cool stuff, sitting here, getting interviewed, covered on Forbes and stuff like that. You understand me? So at some point of time, those were the only thing I was getting from my friends. All of them, they were waiting, like my partners, because the only thing they were waiting for the glory days, when the company start to make money. And they constantly ask, when is the money coming, when is the money coming, when is the money coming, but they didn't want to do the difficult work. It went that way with my first startup. It went that way with some other startups I had. Of course, some of the startup, it wasn't about the team. For example, TechBox, we had a perfect team. It was me, there was a Mariam. Mariam is one of the most brilliant hosts I've ever known in my life. There is Moses. Moses had skills with cameras and everything. And you had Musa. Musa is the best guy in terms of administration and finance. I still have him in my team. He has discipline and is focused. We had the best team, but the only challenge with the tech box was timing. It wasn't the right time. The Tanzanian media never understood what we were trying to do. If you're trying to convince someone who sees guitar and kashikashi za mtaa na uswahilini whatever as a good show, you cannot convince this guy to show a show with a content that can be able to impact all of the community or whatever. You know, for them it wasn't the right time. Maybe this is the right time with Azam and Kwese coming in as a competitor. A show like that can be covered, but that wasn't the right time.
Okay. Okay. So among the 5 variables, team for you is actually the strongest. Now let's talk about Sahara Ventures now. Sahara Venture is a big deal right now. 2016, that's when it started, the first event, Sahara Sparks. Sahara Sparks being part of the platform of Sahara Ventures. 2017, Big Bang, another big event that you guys did. If I'm not mistaken, it's the big entrepreneurship event that was done in Tanzania involving technology.
In Eastern Central Africa.
I like the title, in Eastern Central Africa. I got it wrong, my friend. Tell us about Sahara Ventures. Where did the idea start? Was it an idea that originated from here? Was it something that you got from the trip overseas? Was it something that you and your great team sat down and said, you know what, this is like you did previous time, great idea?
So most of the people, that is where they get it wrong. The name Sahara Sparks started 2016, but the idea of Sahara Sparks started years ago.
Okay.
In 2016 is when I had the perfect team to execute the idea. You're getting me? Because before that, I remember we had, I'm trying to remember that weird name. International challenge for whatever. We tried to do it, it didn't work. And then in 2013, we tried something called NIC, National ICT Conference, NIC. It couldn't work. Some point of time, I wanted to do NIA, National ICT Awards. And somebody, I don't know, someone powerful with influence and everything, grabbed the name and wanted to do it, and it screwed up the brand, then I dropped it. But in 2016, it was the perfect time. I had the right team. I had team with passion, with hunger, crazy guy. Technically, we were broke. We had enough money to survive. But
technically,
yeah, we were broke, and we were those kind of guys, always we want to do the next big thing. You know, when that's why I love this place. When Buni was starting, nobody in Africa knew about this place. Nobody knows about what we do, nobody appreciated us. So that hunger of putting together a name, a legacy of ourselves, a brand that can sell across the country. By that time, Kino was so freaking good. You know, Mara Foundation, they had a space. So you had this a lot of attention, but we wanted to build something of our own, our legacy. I remember the idea started from that small room, the idea of Sahara Sparks. Not the big room, that small room. By the way, not a lot of people know this. So when we were choosing name, we had the same tally. The third vote had to come from Ahadi Katela, who just popped up in the room. Ahadi Katela, what do you think about the name? It was like, I'm going for Sahara Sparks. Because we had two names. We had Unboxing Africa, which was my name. I wanted the event to be called Unboxing Africa. And there was Sahara Sparks. And then all of a sudden, when the team was voting, we had a tally, and Ahadi pops up. I was like, Africa has already been unboxed. You're insulting us, brother. And I was like, wow, this is just heavy, you know. And then we decided to drop the name and then stick with Sahara Sparks. Okay. And then I went back home. By that time, I was reading the book by Julius Kambarage Nyerere, Africa Today and Tomorrow. And there was a quote somewhere that at some point of time he thought South can be able to produce for the North to use. Its perception towards industrialization. We can still do and build the machinery from the, we can still purchase and buy the machinery from this North and produce in the South competitively and then sell back to them. That was his perception. And then I was like, I need to connect this perception to this event, telling them Africa south of the Sahara, as Nyerere himself used to say, has more to offer than just diseases, hungers, and broke guys. Can we do a big event? So the reason Sahara Sparks had this massive quality, our inspiration was not Pivot East, was not Demo Africa, was not Africom, was not, I'm trying to remember other big African event, was not Transform Africa. Our inspiration was Slash. How can we do a big event such as Slash, the largest tech conference of the world? How do we do an event of such magnitude in Dar? Mariam can tell you more about that. She was about to cry because 2 weeks before the event, we need 60,000 to do an event, and in a bank we have 2,000 USD.
60,000 what? Shillings?
USD.
USD. Not
Yeah.
Zimbabwe dollars.
No.
American dollars. 60%.
Yeah. Okay, you know it already. It was done at Mlimani City. So you can imagine the cost of doing an event there just to get the venue. So I remember one evening we were like, Mariam, what are the donors saying? Have you visited this? What are they saying? Are they going to contribute? And she was like, the only thing I know, all of them are promising. And
that is a week or 2 weeks before?
2 weeks before, and we are all like frustrated, like Mariam, they kept on promising the dates are coming. We can't do promises. I remember Musa went back to his office, to his home place in the evening because he was staying at Kunduchi. I was staying at Mbezi Beach, Makonde. And in the evening, he came to me and was like, brother, for the sake of your reputation, I think we have to drop this. I think we have to drop it. I was like, you know what? We have postponed it 2 times. You know, it was supposed to happen in November. Okay. And then we went to February. And then we went to May. I was like, we're not dropping it. If I'm going to be embarrassed, let me get embarrassed. I'm used of being embarrassed. I've failed more than 1 time. But we have to do it this time. And then all of a sudden, the rest is history. We managed to do the event. It was
60,000 was collected. 60,000 US dollars. You know how he does it, man? I'll be humble, but I'll let you know.
You see. So the event happened. The event happened. And as you remember, it was one of the biggest events in Africa. We received a lot of attention. The first event we had, how many attendees? 600, 600 attendees. We had 139 startups. We had 15 international speakers and a couple of local speakers. We had UNDP on board, Swiss Embassy, Finnish Embassy, Human Development Innovation Fund. All those guys, all of a sudden they show up at the end. And then there was a lesson also there, keep pushing until the last moment. There's this interesting quote from, I know you might know this fighter. I love boxing, so. No, Lennox Lewis. Alikuwa anafanya mazoezi, so usually anatakiwa apige push-up 100 kwa siku. Umeona eh? Lakini akawa anapiga push-up, kuna siku akapiga push-up kama 99 hivi. Akawa anamuuliza personal trainer wake, did I do 99 or 100? So the trainer was like, does it matter? And the guy was like, that's the difference between the mediocre fighter and the world champion. You push until the end. You push for quality, you push for standard. So from there, Sahara Sparks started, and it became a big event. But the most important thing after Sahara Sparks, we got partners. And that's where the most interesting stories start. And then after we got partners, they were not just partners, they were very, very strong, reputed and credible partners. So we started to chase deals. We started to close deals. We started to get some projects. The rest is history. We've been working with different partners, as you already know. We've done a project, that Amua Accelerator with UNFPA. We've done with HIVOS, the Hatua project. We've done with Human Development Innovation Fund, Mawazo Challenge, was funded by UK Aid. And right now we're also involved in the Dar-es project, which is funded by MCC and PEPFAR. But at the end of the day, it was that pain and hustling from the beginning of getting together that event, which eventually opened up curtain for other people to believe and trust on us.
Now, I think you have to put us up to speed because some might know what he was talking about. You said Amua, you said Hatua, you said Dar-es, Mawazo Challenge. Now, are they different accelerators? Some of them, are they big to a point that they also cater to a wider market? For example, they go outside the country or outside the city to accelerate people in rural areas. What do they do? Just in short, every bit.
Okay. So, in short, so from Sahara Sparks, we piloted Sahara Consulting. Sahara Consulting is for impact project management firm. We are managing for impact projects using ICTs and innovation. And this is one of the most confusing companies that we are running because people are like, Jeffo, what are you exactly doing these days? Sometimes we say Amua Accelerator, sometimes Mawazo Challenge. So that is the price you have to pay when you're doing donors project. Branding is a big thing for them. So we're doing Amua Accelerator. Amua Accelerator, we are doing it with UNFPA. It's a startup acceleration program for sexual reproductive health sector. We had seed fund to support ideas and projects specifically for the SRH sector. And Mawazo Challenge is more of an acceleration program, but it's specifically targeting students from Medical and Allied Sciences University. Again, we have seed fund to offer to students that are coming up with brilliant ideas, frugal solution for the health sector. Hatua project was more for ICT for good, ICT for governance project, which we are doing with HIVOS, of course with making all voices count. And which one? Dar-es is another project that we're doing. It's purely on how can you build skills and capacity of local communities to use data to make strategic decisions. So what we do with Sahara Consulting in terms of the management and the project management part, specifically we designed the projects using ICT, innovation and entrepreneurship, and try to incorporate it in the development sector in a place where they rarely involve or use ICT and technology to do their project. So I think some of you who are following me already, you have seen the project that we've launched, at least online, not formally yet, africa.sdgs.photos. And technically it's going to be a digital media campaign, but also a photography campaign, some sort of a photography competition for people to share pictures around the sustainable development goals. So those are the kind of projects that we are designing. After we design, we look for partners. We look for sponsors for potential scaling opportunities.
Okay. Speaking of sponsors and other potential opportunities, I'm imagining right now Sahara Ventures is growing. And it's a startup as well, but it has scaled up a bit as compared to how it was before. Now there are other startups over here, there are other guys that want to quit their jobs and probably start their own business. What do you do on a daily basis? You as a person in a company, you as a developer, you as a manager as well, do you still sit down every day and write these proposals to get these funds, these grants, or do you have these donors that are already there? So you mentioned that you have key partners that have stuck beside you after seeing what you have done. What is the, tell us your funding, your source of funding, and how you're moving forward. You don't have to go into detail.
So
But
jamaa nataka siri ya upishi.
because clearly bigger things are happening, and you've mentioned the different accelerators. Everyone seems to be, or each accelerator seems to be a bit of a different entity, and they depend on themselves. So how do you grow? How do you grow?
First of all, is team. You know, the moment you decide to stop running a startup and run a business, you will grow. Did you really understand my statement? The moment you stop to run a startup and start to run a business, you will grow. If you want to grow, you have to build systems and structures. This is coming from my best friend, Brian Paul. You have to build systems and structures. You have to build strong teams. You have to invest on their skills. You have to invest time to build on them. And that's why when you tell me Sahara Sparks started in 2016, I told you you are wrong. Because the people inside Sahara Sparks, they've spent minimum 4 years to build themselves. Okay. So they have skills. You have a person like Mariam, she can host, she can train, she can teach, she can run an entrepreneurship boot camp, she can conduct a session. Do you know how many young people for caliber can you get in Dar-es-Salaam? I don't think you cross 10. You're getting me? And that is what we've been doing for so long time. Building strong teams of individuals whom when you give them a task to do, they give you the best quality you can ever expect from. So right now we're spending a lot of time building systems and structures. We've started with a small team. Now we're having a board. We're hiring in project managers. We give them our vision, our skills, and push them to build their strengths. And then they can work at the independent entities to run some of the projects that we are already involved in. And it's working for us. It might be because of the God will, but I think also it's because of the process and the effort we are putting in. So my advice is, it's not easy. You have to push. Some of these proposals we have to sleep at the office sometime. One of the proposals you wrote, I remember we had to leave the office around 4 at night.
Only that?
I'm telling you, sometimes we wake up in the morning at the office, you need to send someone. You know, I'm working with young ladies at my office. Some of them have kids. Some of them, they're being owned by someone. You get in trouble, they're going home late. But they believe on what we're doing, and they can push to the limit. We are working with this amazing team of 2 young ladies. It's a startup company, it's a research firm called Dar-es. The amount of push they're putting is, mpaka wewe mtoto wa kiume unajisikia embarrassed. We have to push this bro, deadline kesho, yani hii document inabidi itoke, lazima itoke tuchukue hii fund, umeona? So when your team ikishafikia kwenye level hiyo ya spirit, yani lazima mtafanikiwa na mtaenda kwenye level nyingine. Lakini kama wewe vision yako iko huku, wewe vision yako uongeze investment, vision yake anunue gari nyingine visi, you can't. It's very difficult. That's why I say the team is very important. And if it's not working, it doesn't matter how much trouble it will bring to you. Please cut off a partner who is pulling you back, because they're going to pull you back for the next 4 or 5 years to come. Okay. Yeah, that's my advice.
So now you got me thinking. You said I'm still on money and future prospects of Sahara Ventures. Don't worry, it's very technical. You've said that you guys as a company are also providing small inputs financially, I think, to certain startups.
startups.
So I'm thinking about the future prospects of Sahara Ventures. Are you thinking about probably starting your own angel investor donations? Are you thinking about starting your own Silicon Valley? What is the plan? What are we doing?
Wow.
There must be a path. Where are we going?
So let me tell you the big vision. It's a very funny vision. It's kind of ambitious, but that's a big vision.
Sahara Silicon Valley.
Yeah. They will say it, if they were here in 2011, they could have witnessed what I've done today. So I'm telling you now, maybe we'll discuss this later in 2025.
Okay.
What we are trying to do as a company, our vision is to build a sustainable innovation and technology entrepreneurship ecosystem in Africa. So our vision is not limited to Tanzania. As you can see now, every project we are launching, we are targeting Africa, not Tanzania. You're getting me? That's our dream. We started with Sahara Sparks. Our vision is for it to become the largest innovation and technology entrepreneurship conference in Africa. From there, that's one block of an interesting ecosystem, because ecosystem needs events, need proper academic institutions, need strong private sector partner, need support of the public sector, need strong R&D institution, but also need strong entrepreneurial spirit. Those are the components of a stable innovation ecosystem. And of course, proper investment, venture capitalists and angel investors. So we have started with the event, Sahara Sparks. We went ahead and started a venture-backed corporate accelerator, which is Sahara Consulting and what they're doing. Our aim now is to go to, no, sorry, it was a corporate-backed. Our aim now is to go to venture-backed accelerator, where we'll raise money to start to fund early-stage startups and take equity out of those companies. Already we are doing with 2 companies. We are only focusing on post-revenue startups because Buni is already doing pre-revenue startups. So we don't want to contradict with what Buni is already doing. And then our vision now, I think in the next 1 year, by the time we are doing Sahara Sparks 2018, we'll be launching something called SANE, Sahara Angel Investors Network.
Guys, you should clap. Angel investors, when you hear investors, it means startups like us are going to be providing with stuff.
Technically, what we are trying to do is not to complain why there are no angel investors. If something is not there, we create.
Okay.
If venture capitalists are not there, maybe 10 years from now, Sahara will pilot a VC firm instead of saying there's no venture capitalist in Tanzania.
Sorry,
you're getting me.
Quick question before you go forward. I'm thinking very fast. Do you, because I've been hearing a lot of international agencies helping you, what about the big shots over here?
Laza vyuma vimekaza.
I think it's something that a lot of us would like to know. Manake, now you look like you're very trustworthy. Your business has a certain credibility. From what I've seen, people of all races, people from different countries, have been to the events, have seen what you provided. Now I want to know, is there loyalty within the country, or is it ignorance, for lack of better terms? Don't we know what other people in this country are doing, so we can't chip in? Because I can see other venture capitalists in the country, are they putting in their capital and share? Government or some sort?
To be honest, if there's anything that was very, very extremely important that the government have done for the innovation ecosystem for the past 5 years, is to support this space and DTBI.
Okay.
So the government has played an important role. Spaces like this across the continent are being closed because they don't have a sustainable business model. If you tell an average entrepreneur who is coming at Buni to pay a $200 or $300 entrance fee per month so that to keep the space alive, nobody will be coming to this space. So the fact that the government is covering the utility costs, the utility bills, and provide a platform for us to be here, that is already a step. The biggest challenge is, do they see what we see?
Good question to think about, guys. BC, born before or born after?
Yeah, so that's another thing. Because you have the BBCs, the born before computer guys, and you have us. We are fast, we are quick, the economy is changing very fast, we are coming up with these innovative ideas. My father worked at TPA since 1978. Amestaafu miaka miwili iliyopita. I'll not do that even if you're paying me 1 billion USD per month. I'm telling you, work in the same place for over 38 years, bro. Am I don't know, crippled or something? You're
But you said 1 billion, man. It won't work there.
It's so much depends with what motivates you.
Okay.
You're getting me. But what I'm trying to say is, getting back to your question, there has been some support, but we need more support. We need more proper entrepreneurial policies. For example, most of startup companies are being taxed on the first years of operation. So if you check and you analyze this, technically they're taxing the capital. So policies like this needs to be improved. We need to see more seed fund from the government supporting early stage entrepreneurs. We need to see universities producing quality graduates that can work in the startup and entrepreneurial ecosystem, because that's another crisis. Most of our universities are still operating in the second generation university, where the priority is only given into academic and research. They need to move from second generation university to third generation university. They need to start to embrace innovation, entrepreneurship. Lectures needs to move from being lectures to become coaches. They need to coach the student. They don't need to train them. You're getting me? We need to get quality people to hire in our companies. We need to get better people so that we can be competitive enough, because startups need people with multiple skills.
You mentioned something about, I'm finishing up, by the way, guys. One of the biggest problems that a lot of startups or different businesses usually go through is modality. How is the model of your business going to be? It's always a struggle. And I think it was you who said within 18 months or 22, more than 20 something months, you could have a lot of confusion in your head. How's my business going to go? How is it going to build up? And I happened to read one of your posts, I think, or it was an interview. You were talking about a VCP modality. Is that functionable? Is it generic? Can it happen in my business, his business? How is the VCP modality like?
Okay.
Is it a treasure box?
So VCP is a game changer. I heard about VCP from one of my mentors, I think 3 years ago. She was part of the Africa gathering. She came to Tanzania. We managed to host our event here. So she trained us about the VCP. The VCP has been my principle. So technically VCP is visibility, credibility, and profitability. So most of the time, if you go to my personal Facebook account, you know what I post there. It's always walk, and things that I do. That is a V, the visibility. You have to invest on your visibility. You have to tell people about what you do. I've been doing it for the past 4 years. The moment people mention your name, they need to relate you to what you are good at. If they mention Sebastian Mwekambo, wow, that amazing facilitator guy. You're getting me? So if they mention Jumanne Mtambalike, I want them to say that guy who does innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. I want that to come from their mouths. It should be self-push to them. So that is the V part. And then if you nail well on your visibility, in turn you start to become credible, because the credibility will come up. You know, the guy, he does it. We have seen him doing it. He was just interviewed by Startup Grind. You're getting me? You start to become credible. After you become credible now, you're getting me? That's when the cash now starts to You become the profitable guy because you're already visible. They already know you. And then you become credible and then profitable. You're getting me? So it has been like that. So guys, instead ya kupost sijui wema amekimbizwa na nani, post about what you do so that people they can understand what you do. I can tell you 75% of my works zinatoka Facebook. And it started like this. A guy from Team Tanzania or a lady from Team Tanzania, hey, we've seen about your works. So what do you guys do? Oh, we manage for impact projects, but we also does event. There's this event coming. So it always starts like that. And then eventually I'm like, this is my email. Can we move the chat to the email now so it become more official? You're getting me? So invest on your visibility so that you can start to become credible and eventually profitable.
I like that. We'll take that modality, VCP. I'm going to ask you 3 quick questions before I leave these guys to ask you questions. Challenges, the biggest challenge you faced, the achievements you faced as an entity, not just because as a person you mentioned the drawbacks that you've been in, 36 million likes, but I'd like to know as a startup, as an entity, as a business entity. At the same time, last but not least,
you say challenge?
Challenge, achievement, and last but not least, there's a problem that we've been having for a while. I've managed to be in the different events that Sahara Ventures have organized, and other events as well. And I've seen people pitching, it's like being interviewed. Either you're going to an elevator and you've seen a big business person, elevator pitch, boss, na kazi that pitching. I've seen people going through different processes of being trained, 3 months, 4 months, and they still go on stage and ask for money or other funds, and they still blow it up. I don't know. Ever tell us: is it the problem? Is it the confidence? Knowledge? Is it opportunity? Is it, I don't know. What is that? What do we need to do? Because I think a lot of us over here, we're always trying to pitch. We're always trying to do something. What should we do in that sector just to uplift?
Okay, a pitch itself is a session of itself. But I'll try to be as short as I can be. I will close up with the challenge and achievement. I'll start with the pitch. So first of all, please spend your time on YouTube. There's a lot of 5 minutes videos that can help you to do this. But again, over a period of time, what I've understood about the pitch, a pitch is more of trying to convince someone to get on board. We do that every day. We convince, our fiancés, we convince, our bosses to give us good gig, we convince like everyone. And the biggest challenge is that sometimes you convince and sometimes you convince with passion. You're getting me?
Okay.
Most of the time when we pitch, we are not connected to what we are saying. The adrenaline, the push is not there. Like when you come to me and say, I need this X amount to finance this business, when I look at you, I'm like, this nigga wanna buy a new Vitz.
How did you know?
You're getting me. You're not connected to the business.
Yeah.
If you wake me up right now and ask me, hey, what does your company do? We're managing for impact project using ICT and innovation. What do you say? You're getting me because it's in my blood. Yeah, it's in my blood. I'm wired. I'm ready to tell. I'm ready to pitch every time. When you go to the technicality, of course, a pitch has 3 parts. You need to state very clearly the problem you're looking to address. You need to say very clearly the solution you're trying to come up with. And you need to also to say why you are the right person to fix that problem. So the problem, the solution, and the team. That is the board of a pitch. If a pitch misses those 3 components, technically, bro, labda unatongoza. So, but you're not pitching. You're getting me because if it's not very clear what you're trying to address, why should I support you? If you're not providing the right solution, why should I support you? If you don't have what is required to fix that problem, why should I support you? So those are the key crucial component. Of course, you can send me a follow-up email. There's a lot of materials and the guideline, the tool to guide you to do that. And of course, you have 3 types of pitch. You have the elevator pitch, is around 30 seconds to 90 seconds. You have the a mid-level pitch where you just pitch someone about the idea between 6 to 7 minutes, and then you have the detailed pitch. Unabeba mzee mikaratasi yote na mikolokolo yote, unaenda kuonyesha numbers na nini.
Is it allowed to be like that? Because I've heard different pitches.
Yeah.
I think I was having that conversation, Cindy. We've had this conversation. Some people have like 2 slides only. Some people have 1 slide and they're done.
Yo, so what you need to do is just to get that guy to knock his head. Let's meet on Monday. That's what you need to do.
We can meet on Monday. You can give me a business card. I'm all open for business, by the way.
So you're like, you're getting me. By the way, if you look at my card behind,
I saw
you understand.
Now this is what you call the right VCP.
Visibility.
Guys, I have a
nigga, you don't want to be that guy like, you know what? Mwaka 2014 kuna jamaa walimaliza UD. No, washikaji watakao sema hivi, 2014 kuna masela waligraduate UD na Seba alikuwepo.
Thank you.
Well, so you need to invest on being different.
Yes.
So on the pitches, the problem, the solution, and the team.
Okay.
So I'll go back to the challenges. Challenges has been there. I think one of the major challenge is people don't understand what we are doing. The ecosystem is very small, that every time we are doing anything, you see the same faces. You're getting me?
Yeah.
So people don't understand what we are doing. Most of the time nakaga naumiza kichwa kichizi. Is it the issue of language? Again, sometimes tunatumia Kiswahili. Is it the issue of the issue of content that people consume? Because hii nao ni changamoto. Wabongo unajua content zatu na consume. Nadhani Mihayo alisema wakati wa Sahara.
85%.
Please don't do that.
Unfortunately,
no, tumekatazwa kutaja statistics. Yeah, so
it's sad, but we need to know this.
Yeah.
We hold our phones every day. We have, let me just say this. In the world of technology and Internet of Things, 85% of the things that we consume online as Tanzanians is PORN. I don't want to say that. Should I say that? Porn, 85%. 10% is WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm a victim of that.
Yeah.
And 5% is me. Jumanne, can we have you on Sahara? Like start a grind, blah, blah, blah. So it's very minimal. I said your pain.
Yeah. So that is the first part. We don't feel like people understanding us. And also, the same pain that you guys are having, we're also having it. I will expect an event like Startup Green to have a very big audience.
Yeah.
In the time like this when there are no jobs. Technically, there are no jobs. If you go to a place whereby kuna 70 job posts and 12,000 people are showing up, that's scary. You know, I did mathematics at school. So technically, your chances of not getting a job is 99%, but you're still going to that interview. So you're getting me. So you expect people to be here. You expect people to network. You expect people to come and learn. But if you're seeing few empty seats, of course, I don't want to send blames and everything. It tells you a lot about what kind of content we consume. If you see people are chatting and talking about what, I don't want to mention names, she has just posted her pink shoes and it become a discussion the whole day. It tells you a lot about what kind of content we consume. Kwa issue ya kwanza, we don't think people understand what we're doing. But as a business, ndio maana tunajaribu sana kufanya watu waelewe. Mnakumbuka Sahara Sparks ya 2017, kulikuwa kuna the whole track of musician. Because, so that's how you fix things. You try to merge what they like and what you want them to like. You see, and then they start to develop interest. Hiyo ni sehemu ya kwanza. The other challenge we're having is skills crisis. So we want to work with a lot of like young people. Watu wengi wenye startup hapa watanikubalia. To get people with the right skills is a big issue. And most of the time when you get to have the skills, they don't have the right attitude. You getting me? Waongo, they don't come in time. Umeelewa? Wanajisikia. The nigga is broke ila anajisikia bado. Sasa
we had a very sad conversation. We had a very sad conversation was it last week? And I'm not going to mention the name, but a lady who does business, who has a startup, very interesting startup, doing great business in Tanzania. And this lady has managed to reach thousands and thousands of people. But she said loyalty is a big problem, confidence, and mostly, she said a point which really hurt me. It's better to work with people outside Tanzania than the Tanzanians.
I can tell you.
Because what you just said.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I know a startup, I won't mention them. I've worked with them, I have supported them. And for some reason, for some no good reason, they've started to take my money and do a lot of sheets, and then they're running away, they're not picking up my phone and everything. These are the things that are screwing us up. And you'll never go anywhere with these attitudes. The most important thing in life is respect. If someone is coming at your office, it doesn't matter what they're carrying or what are they going to say to you. The number one rule is listen. And that is something which you don't do. Yani vijana wengi wa kibongo ni wajuaji. They know everything. Me Java najua HTML. No, it's not about that. You're getting me. So that is another challenge. We don't have skills, we don't have loyalty, we don't have trust, we don't have respect, and we are not patient. You're getting me? There's a book some of you guys might want to read. It's called The Essentialist. What are the essential things you should have in life? How you should manage your time, how you should allocate your resources. It's a very good book. It has helped me a lot as a person. Na nadhani tabia zile zote ambazo zinatusumbua Tanzania ziko mule. Another challenge ukiachana na vitu vile nilivyokuambia, people that don't understand us na issue of skills. Issue nyingine pia inayotusumbua sijui inaweka vipi, but this is very difficult, I say. If you go to any other place in the world, I've been in a lot of startup ecosystem. I've been in the SA ecosystem. I was just studying the Egyptian ecosystem. I went to Accra some point of time to see the startup ecosystem. I've been in so many places. You see entrepreneurs working together. They assist each other. They support each other. If I'm running a legal startup, I will offer legal services for you. And you're doing IT stuff, you'll develop my website for me. And if you are doing some sort of a finance, you support me. But brothers, this ecosystem, halitroga kafa. I don't know what's wrong with this ecosystem. So that's another challenge that we're facing. So I think we need to collaborate and work together. Those are the challenges we are facing. Maybe I'll not even go to funds and everything. Those are like traditional challenges. I think we are having a lot of behavioral challenges. Mpaka tuje kufika kwenye hela, mambo mengine. Achievement. I think my biggest lifetime achievement, Buni. That I can tell you. You know, I will go to the grave bowling like this. Nigga, you know what? I've changed life of more than 10,000 young Tanzanians over my lifetime. Yes, I'm dying. But, you know, but that is the impact I've created. I don't know with Sahara Sparks how much impact I'll create. I've just started. But I can tell you within these few years, you know, you go to places, you meet people who have passed here. Yani unakutana na watu, you are in place, you are happy. I remember when Ahadi was starting, was just a student when he comes here, and now he runs Guave, his own company, has employed people. You can see Brian and Sama with Studio 19. You can see Moses and
Time Tickets.
Yeah, with Kinetics. You know, so it tells you a lot about this place. It's like at some point of time you want to run or put together a documentary about this place. That's a new gig, bro. You see.
Just got a new idea.
Yeah, so, and you can always talk. I can tell you where we can get money for that. Yeah, so that is my first biggest achievement. And I think my second biggest achievement was to start Sahara Sparks. Mazingira ambayo Sahara Sparks ilianza kiajabu kichizi yani, and deciding to quit to put all my time into that thing, I think that was the biggest achievement. I think one of the best decisions, because I even think even my wife was like, "You're crazy." you know what you're doing and stuff like that. But again, Mtu unaona kabisa from the first. Naweza sikwambie lakini unaacha kazi eh? and of course, finally assembling the team that I have right now.
Great.
I owe everything to my team. Life is like a cycle, it's a connection of dots. Everyone is bringing something into the table. If you don't appreciate what Musa is bringing, if you don't appreciate what Mariam is bringing, if you don't appreciate what Jack is bringing, Paul is bringing, Raim is bringing, then it will never be a cycle. To be some shape, but not a cycle. So those are the three major achievements.
Hey, Jumanne, are you going to applause to this man?